So let me do this and go get fresh air and get some ink in, yeah? Order for possession. This is not an order. I need to get an order from District Judge Beecham. District Judge Sarah Elizabeth Beecham. That's who the order is supposed to come from. As you can see the address. As you can see the details. As you can see who you see. That's what when I said to District Judge Beecham. If I become this HCT group impact report statistic of 1 in 5 of all suicides are associated with unemployment, you're responsible. Yeah? Right. In the county court at Clerkenwell and Shoreditch, I'm going to put everything in there. Claim number KO5EC530. Claimant, housing foreman, defendant Mervyn Myers. Yeah, the criminals. On the 17th of March 2025, District Judge Beecham, sitting at the county court at Clerkenwell and Shoreditch, the G Street Courthouse, 29 to 41 G Street, London, EC1V, 3R, E. Upon hearing the defendant in person, hearing counsel for the defendant, and the court orders on monetary grounds 7A Housing Act 1988, so that's a lie. Yes, there was a case, but if you rightly remember, the Equality Act assessor was an hour and a half late. So it went over in the 28th. So I don't know where you get that from. Devon's solicitors, corrupt Asian traffickers. The defendant to deliver of possession to the claimant of flat 16 Alma Grove, London, SE15PY by 17th of April 25. Yeah? Defendant to do pay the claimant's cost of the claim. Really? To be assessed if not agreed, but not to be enforced in respect of any protection period, without an assessment of the defendant's ability to pay under Section 26 of LASPO 2012. To the defendant, the court has ordered you to leave the property by the date stated in paragraph 1 above. So where is the order? Asian traffickers, Devon solicitors, Zena, whatever your name is, Zeba Kores, Lena, Amir, Narin Masara. I am now of the opinion that you are the ones who set up the email, like Mimi Owusu does, and send me that mail organ. Yeah, you were so upset. You're responsible for it. If you do not do so, the claimant can ask the court without a further hearing to authorize a bailiff or high court enforcement officer to evict you. In that case, you can apply to the court to stay the eviction. A judge will decide if there are grounds for doing so. There are many grounds. Yeah, Devon's solicitors. Yeah, I have not received my £9,000 from the court yet. Yeah, HHJ Richard Roberts has no jurisdiction over the other case to approve. Yeah. And just so you know that I'm top up. Yeah? Just so you know, Housing Ombudsman Service. Housing Ombudsman sets out 4 tests of communication. Good communication to help landlords avoid inadvertently stigmatizing residents and rebuild trust. So what are you saying about this? Yeah? What are you saying about this? I was the minute taker for the customer panel, invited by Honey Premal, who is the author of the Alzheimer's policy. Why did you let her go? Yeah? Ombudsman sets out 4 tests of good communication to help landlords avoid inadvertently whatever. Yeah? Here it is. Yeah, a monthly learning relating to Awab's law. Yeah, and I have man in here. Man living in here, Joe Hooper. Tony, come over when I'm ready. What the antics Debbie Gilchrist is going on? Calling from next door. I'm out in the garden. Yeah? What did I say? The Asians that are being brought over, modern slavery, trafficking, they do not have they have English as additional language. Yeah? I can teach them if they want. All right, here. A resident for whom English is not her first language was left in damp and mold for 4 years with ongoing issues due to the language barrier, including the landlord not taking into account her health needs. And I do not have language barrier, but you're bringing risperidone. You're bringing risperidone. You're bringing risperidone with your maybe possibly pedophile. Yeah? You're bringing risperidone. Risperidone. And Phil Gregory coming here and announced that the day I'm on the Zoom, Housing Ombudsman Zoom, telling me to switch off my recording. In a third case, a resident struggled to get the landlord to respond to her complaints, with the landlord's communication lacking empathy and internally referring to this person and bemoaning the number of requests for action. So what about mine? Housing Ombudsman? You got solicitors to contact me after I take out a claim. Yeah? Yeah? They are on ITV News documentary. Yeah? Yeah? The communication failings were present in both the services areas as well as complaints handling and include poor internal communication and engagement with contractors and managing agents. What did I say? Agents brought over modern slavery. So that's the problem. While the 4 T's of good communications are lessons drawn from cases relating to damp and mold because of the proximity of Awab's law, they could apply to all complaints categories. Where was I? Doing research. University of Huddersfield. Communication can often be a test of culture for an organization, and this report from the Ombudsman comes a few months after a report from the G15 group of landlords found that the residents reported the most common source of stigma was the interaction with landlords, cited by 43% residents. Yeah? You are going to jail, Richard Blakeway. How many times was I on the Zoom with the toilet seat on my head? You're going to jail, Richard Blakeway. Yeah? Yeah? Do I need to learn any fucking nothing from you? Awab's law? So I'm going to make sure I put in Arnold Tomlinson law now. Yeah? I'm going to put in Arnold Tomlinson law.